Town? Okay. Yeah, how do you pronounce the name of this band?
No, but you don't say it like that. It's it's Choquib Town, but they say it like Choquib Town.
Town.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Welcome back, everybody, to the Scattered Roots podcast. Rudy, what's up, man? That was fire.
That was a good song. I haven't heard that before. But welcome back, guys, to the Scattered Roots podcast. Today, as you can see, Kevin and I are sitting together again.
It was so nice last time.
Yeah, we just liked the setup. You know, You just have a warm presence about you, and we also again have a surprise, or not surprise, a guest here today with us, my man Christian or Christian. What's your preferred pronunciation, my man?
Christian when my mom's yelling at me, and Christian to everybody else. You know.
Okay. All right.
Well, Christian, man, thank you so much for coming on today.
Mm-hmm.
We're excited to have you again. We're trying to have a couple different people on, right, that have some, I guess, different experiences than Kevin and myself. And so you're an interesting guy, and we thought we'd ask you a few questions, man, and kind of see what insights you can give us into your background. And so I guess let's start there, man. Tell us a little bit about your background, your culture, and a little bit about yourself.
I was born in Colombia in So
we're the air horns for the Colombians.
Don't worry about
You're supposed to have air horns, Rudy.
Okay.
So it's like the estado is called Nariño. So think of it as a Texas.
You said estado, so Colombia has states?
Yeah.
Okay.
Or departamentos.
Okay.
Oh, see, that's Guatemala. Guatemala has departamentos.
Yeah, there's departamentos, and my departamento is Nariño. So it's like by the. Okay. Where's the what ocean? What's the main ocean next to Colombia?
Hey, bro, this is your ocean. It's not my ocean.
It's the Pacific.
Okay.
It's the Pacific Ocean.
I don't know
I'm
my
gonna
geography.
say yes because I don't know.
I failed geography, so.
You did?
No, just keep going.
Okay. So like it's next to the Pacific Ocean. So where I'm from, the main thing they do, and I'm from a city called Tumaco.
Tumaco.
Yeah.
Okay.
Tumaco.
Okay.
And what's main there is it's a coastal region, so there's you do a lot of fishing stuff there. So that's where my mom's from.
Okay, cool.
So me and my mom from the same town, and my dad's from a big town called Cali,
which
is also known as like the salsa capital of the world, as in dancing.
Oh, word.
Oh, really?
I've heard of Cali because I watch Narcos. Shout out. You get so excited. You rock with Narcos?
I've never seen Narcos. I feel so out of the loop.
Okay. So you said your dad was from Cali?
Yeah, my dad's Cali. And my dad's been all over Colombia, which is crazy.
Oh, okay.
You ask him, hey, you heard me to this town over here? He'll be like, oh, see. Like, he'll give you a long story about that.
He's a well-traveled man.
Yeah, because he used to walk around and just sell, like, he was a salesman. So he just got on trains or on, like, taxis and stuff. And he would get to, like, different, you could say, like, the little towns and just sell stuff. And that's how he would make money. Like, he would sell, like, these things called bases, which are things you put under, like, you ever been to la paleteria and you can't move it, so you put wheels under it?
Yeah.
That's what he sold in Colombia.
Gotcha.
And that's how he went to Tumaco. That's how he met my mom.
Okay.
Cool. So wait, so you were born in the same city that your mom is from?
Yeah.
And then how old were you when you came to the good old US of A?
I came... You want to hear the story, why we came?
Yeah, for sure. Give us all of it, man.
All right, so my dad was
Spill the tea.
going to get, like, murdered by the mafia.
Whoa, that's some tea I did not expect to be spilled today.
Okay.
That's why, you know what I'm saying?
By the cartel?
Yeah, my life is rated R, man.
We're here for it, man.
No, I'm playing. Okay, so since my dad was a businessman, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, salesman. And everywhere he walked to so many different places, right? Unfortunately, he was at the wrong place at the wrong time. And he witnessed, a killing or something, right?
Oh, okay.
And the guy who was the killer looked just like my dad. So, the ops are after somebody,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So my dad, the guy wanted my dad to be the one. So they had the same Jerry curl, like Rick James sketch and Chappelle show, and all. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They used to rock that
Rick James,
bitch.
Rock back in the day with the little S curl drip. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I'm dead.
And so my dad, like, he left us for not left us, but like he left when I was like 2. So me and my mom were just at the house like all the time, right? And so like he would come back and then he would go to Ecuador, come back, go all these places, right? And then like one day he came back to get us, right? And then they call him Bam Bam. They're like, hey, Bam Bam. They're outside. So my dad grabbed us and we dipped, bro. We dipped and we left. And we went to like the Colombian fiscal government, like the refugee agency, right? And my dad told him everything about what was going on. The guy's like, nah, I don't believe it.
He was in on it, bro.
And then I was 3 years old, right? You know, just a conscious mind, you know? And I told the guy, I was like, Pa, te vas a ir? Like, are you leaving us again? And the guy said, how's this baby know that you're, like, you know what I'm saying?
That you're leaving.
Yeah, and so he got us a ticket, and we went to Miami, and then we ended up in Texas.
Oh, okay, so you went to Miami. That's crazy.
Did you live in Miami at all?
I lived in Miami for like an hour.
Okay. I mean, he definitely was alive for that.
So he was on. So he was based on your story, right? That happened when you were 2.
I was 2, 3. I came to the United States 3, about to be 4.
Okay, but he was on the run for those like about a year, almost 2 years.
Yeah. Like my dad like was everywhere, and like we also went to Ecuador too. And then like they wanted a better life, and now we're here. You know.
Okay, that's what's up, man. So Miami to Texas, and then so you've been now in Texas. How old are you?
I'll be 21 like in 2 weeks.
Oh, okay.
Happy early birthday.
Yeah, man.
Hey man, I didn't think I was gonna make it this far, but thank you.
What part of Dallas did you move to?
I first came to Abilene. I don't know if y'all know where that's at.
Gross. Yeah, I'm aware.
Up in the north, no?
Yeah, bro. That's where I first experienced like, you know, racism. It was crazy. Because like where I was born, when I moved to Abilene, I lived in projects, right? And so there were like Africans. I drank vodka for the first time at 4 with Russians.
Hold on.
I was with Africans.
Excuse me?
Yeah, they're like, okay, the 12-year-old son came out. And he gave it to his little brother. He was 5. I'm not going to say his name. I don't want to messed up. You know, I'm not going to say a generic Russian name, you know, because that's messed up. I could, but I'm not. You know what I'm saying? I want to, but I don't want to, you know? Okay, I'm like, okay. And then he said, here.
Okay.
Well done. Okay.
And I sipped it. I said, ooh. It's a little burning sensation in my throat, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And, but that's how I learned English. I didn't learn English
Drinking
at school.
vodka.
No, I learned English. I didn't learn English at school. I learned English in the streets. Like, I know that sounds funny to say, like, oh, I learned I learned like I befriended like 2 little white girls.
Just from like being friends and like talking to people. Okay. Yeah, for sure.
I befriended 2 little white girls, and like we just used to play all the time.
And this was in Texas?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
And then I remember one day I walked to their house to get them, and their mom was like, "We don't mess with their kind." She slammed the door in my face. I was like, that's what I was telling you guys earlier about when I asked my dad. I was like, oh.
Yeah. So
what did that lead to? Like, what was that discussion?
So my dad sat me down at an early age, and he told me that in this life, you're going to have to work harder and do different things, and you're going to be looked down upon. I was like, why?
Mm-hmm.
He's like, well, you know, we're not from here, right? Because I don't really remember, like...
Because you were so young, so it's hard to really, like...
It's hard to connect with your home country if you leave so young.
For sure.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely.
So, like, my ties to my country, like, I've honestly, like, had to force that on myself.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, we grew up here. We're tied to here. We know what here is, but we don't know what back home is. We don't know the life there.
Yeah.
You know, we don't know the customs. We don't know anything because our life is honestly here, but like it's like we can have a double life. You can like talk to your relatives back home and try to get engraved in your culture, but if you're not really in there, that's not you. It could be, you know what I'm saying? But
Yeah, you're just on the outside looking in.
Yeah.
That's crazy, man. No, so you went to Abilene, and then how'd you end up coming to this part of town?
Since it was a small town, and like again, we were like, when my parents came to this country, they were not like financially prepared the best. So like when you gotta move.
I mean, you had to dip quick.
Yeah.
Yeah,
you dip quick. My dad like didn't make the same money here like he did back home, like back in Colombia. So like it was hard like economically. So we had to move. We moved like a good 3, 4, 5 times.
Oh, so you bounced around before you ended up in Dallas.
Yeah, and so I ended up in Dallas when I was like 8, 7.
Okay, so you're still very young when you kind of land here. Okay.
Yeah.
So you are 20 years old, born in Colombia.
Yeah.
Pretty much raised in the state of Texas. And I mean, based on what you were describing, right, when you said, because this is an audio podcast, right? Unless you're watching on YouTube, shout out. You said that your dad had to have this conversation to you because why?
because of my skin color.
Okay.
Especially because of my skin color and because of our race. I didn't understand at 5. I don't think you know what race is really like.
For sure, it's definitely just a construct that like you start to understand when you get older.
If you grow up around an area which has a lot of people of your skin tone, your ethnicity, and your basic background, that's what all you're gonna know. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
All you're gonna understand. So like, I think when you see someone from the outside, it's like, but this is weird.
It's different, for sure.
You know? And I think growing up, I think one thing about customs and like things like that is like we grow up understanding our own, but not understanding how to deal with other people's.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. No, that makes sense.
You know?
Yeah.
So,
with that being said, what about your parents? Like, how have they adjusted to being here in the U.S.?
Like, do they miss back home? Do they? They kind of? Go ahead.
I think due to the unfortunate circumstances back home, and they understand how Colombia being a country where, or a lot of countries in the Latin American spectrum, to acquire a better way of life, you can do school, you can do a lot of things, but it's not the same as it's here. So they're trying to establish themselves to have a better life. And I think because of that, and because of being able to grow in various realms, like many people from the countries that our parents are born in don't ever think about being homeowners or being able to have something in their name, a bank account, even something small, or owning their own business.
Yeah. I think your problems are Kevin and I had discussed this before. I think you're worried more about just like surviving than you are about,
Yeah, it's very short-term thinking, right?
Yeah.
Short-term thinking.
Yeah.
How do I
Like
get through this week?
You're living day to day, week to week, and in some circumstances, paycheck to paycheck.
Yeah.
So you don't get to establish that kind of.
Yeah.
I don't know. You don't get to make those decisions because you're worried about everything else. Okay.
So basically, they that's kind of what made that decision, and so they're comfortable with the fact that
they're grateful.
Gotcha.
They're grateful because, like, my dad coming from his situation, he was like homeless since he was like 11.
Oh, that's crazy.
And he was grinding, selling.
He was grinding. He's been working since he was 11.
You say he's walking around everywhere, right?
Yeah, man. So like, imagine yourself. I mean, fortunately, our parents have put in a perspective or a place that, yes, even though it could have been hard at the start, we never had to suffer like what they had to go through,
Yeah, absolutely.
And so like, we never had to go through all those difficult intangibles where you look at something like owning a house or owning a property, like that's success because they never thought they could get something like that before. So like for me, like they always have looked at it as great. They're very grateful.
For sure.
Very grateful.
I do sometimes ask myself, I wonder how I would have behaved had I been in my parents' shoes.
Yes.
Right? Mm-hmm. Like had I been the one at like 17 years old coming, like what would 17-year-old Rudy do when he's coming to the U.S.? Like, I don't know. Like, I was 17, I was in high school, like,
doing your thing.
Being weird. Yeah, I don't know what else, But
what were you doing in high school, Rudy?
I don't know. But like, we had a very different, like, upbringing. So, like, putting myself in, like, my parents' shoes, like, I don't know how I would have managed that. So much the same, right? Like, could you imagine being your dad on the run with a son that's 2 years old, and then you have to come back and move to another?
Dude, I think
it's crazy
all the time because you're not like a dad yet, right?
No.
Yeah, you guys aren't fathers yet, so like,
are you?
Are you? Uh-oh.
I'm no.
Okay.
Okay.
No, but I wanted to ask you this. So when you guys left high school, did you see a progression of like people you knew around you just settling lives and becoming parents? Like the whole becoming parents thing, people around my age, like a lot of people I know have kids.
Mm-hmm.
And like what's weird sometimes is that they also become their parents. And when I say that, I mean it's like a whole cyclical cycle of the same thing going on and on and on.
Yeah. I definitely think like were your friends or the people, like those people that you're referring to, were they the same, like were they Latinos or were they just
all my the base of my friends before I left college was all Hispanics.
Mm-hmm.
They're all Latinos, right? And so then like it's not like I don't like saying this, but like the Latino culture is looked at as a culture that's just like in a way rudimentary. You know what I'm saying? Because we do the same things. We're looked at a certain way. are like we're immigrants that are here to take, like, you know what I'm saying, but we're not that, you know.
Yeah.
But it seems that continues going, and the narrative continues showing, and like sometimes you want to be like, you can't be the only one to break it, but like you want to show that like that's not who we are.
You want to break the stereotype.
Mm-hmm.
For sure.
Yeah. So I think you're alluding to the fact that a lot of young Latinos don't kind of take that next step, right? Like, and you're in the situation that you're in, and a lot of people are in, right? Parents make those tough decisions here to, like you said, set up their next generation, their children for success, right? And a lot of times that looks like higher education in college, right? And then working your way up and being able to do something like own a home or whatever. And so I think you're in college now, right?
Mm-hmm.
You took that step. Are those friends that you're alluding to, did they also take that sort of step, or did like?
Let's be real, bro. They didn't take those steps.
Hey, right. So that's what I'm talking about, right? That's kind of like.
Where'd you go to school?
Well, I go to school right now at Hendrix College in Arkansas.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's out in.
That's out in the far lands, bro.
Yeah. So do you see? Oh, go ahead.
No.
I was gonna say. So do you see a lot of people like yourself there?
My school, no. My school is like when I went to college, it was like the biggest
culture shock
of my life. Like I was like, sometimes I'm still in awe to this day.
Mm-hmm.
It was an adjustment. It was a real big adjustment because there were things that I was not used to.
Is it predominantly white school?
Oh yeah. It's not that it was white. It's just white culture.
Mm-hmm.
Like they don't walk with rhythm. That really threw me off.
Walk with rhythm. What does walking with rhythm look like?
Well, you're Colombian, right? So like Colombians got mad.
It's not even about being Colombian. It's just my dark flavor, bro. Like you get, like, think about it. What is rhythm? Like, okay, I remember, like I do everything with rhythm to you, right? You know what I'm saying? But like when I was in Arkansas, right? Okay, I grew up in a place where I grew up, like people weren't just hello, how you doing? Like they're not just nice to you like that. You know what I'm saying? That's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing cordial, but like I also saw a lot of like things I would never do. Like,
Give us an example.
like poke a hole in a beer and drink it.
You mean shotgun a beer?
Yeah, bro.
I guess that's actually very true because I've never seen that at a family function. Like Mexicans don't do that either, right? Like I think that's that's definitely an American. That's a college culture though.
I know, but I guess also just. I think I'm gonna just be real. Sometimes I felt like so many people were so entitled.
Oh, for sure.
Like the entitlement.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like if something goes wrong, like everybody got to know.
Yeah, I think I can speak to that a lot as well. I went to A&M.
How was that?
Yeah, so much the same. I saw a lot of that coming from a Latino background and one that was like lower income household, right? I had to bust my ass off to even get into a college, right? And much less afford one, right? I was fortunate enough through my work to like get scholarships, financial aid, this and that and the other, right? And so I'm there with the mentality that I need to put in the work and I need to like do X, Y, and Z in order to be successful and be able to keep my place there, right? Where I met there a ton of people that were, like you said, entitled's the word, the perfect word, right? They had not a care in the world, right? Then no matter what, mom and dad gonna pay this bill. Mom and dad's about to pay this tuition.
It's like
right?
an entitlement, like a privilege kind of like way of like just being able to like exist.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I mean that's kind of, I think that was a shock for me because I don't think I never really put myself in the situation of other people, or put myself in other people's shoes, right? It was always like growing up, I always did have the mentality of like, yo, I need to
work for what I want.
Exactly. So I always had to put in the work, and I never really thought about what everybody else was doing, right? And we went to a school where it was predominantly minorities and
it was like it was heavily Latino where we went to high school.
Where'd y'all go?
It was a school called Townview. It was like a magnet school in Dallas.
Oh, the one in
It's like on the edge of Oak Cliff.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's like Kevin said. Like I think that was at a time where I guess I didn't have the culture shock that both of you guys had because in high school a lot of Latinos, and then when I went to UNT, which although it was a PWI, there was still a pretty good population of like minorities, and so we were able. It was a smaller community, but we were still able to, exist around each other, and so I didn't get that experience all that much because I know A&M is
Yeah, yeah. It was definitely a shock because it is very much predominantly white. It's until you find those pockets.
Exactly.
Right. I eventually found my group of friends who ended up being people that kind of felt the same sort of way. So they were also mainly Latinos and stuff. So and then that's when I was able to have those kind of relations and develop, because sometimes it's just tough, man. Don't get me wrong, right? There's some non-Latinos and stuff, some white people that are
For
mad
sure.
cool, they're mad understanding, but there was a ton of
I think it's just difficult to connect with them on a certain level.
Why do you think so?
Because there's probably just like a not understanding my like culture and like my background, and me not understanding theirs, right? That's
Okay.
why we tend to gravitate towards people
Of
that
our own background.
yeah, of our own background, exactly, right? Like, for example, if we were to like, hey, let's go hang out and do XYZ, and they was playing like Spanish music on the aux, I'd be very excited to, like get up, dance,
I'm in there.
and then my friend, they'd be like, oh, this is cool, it's interesting, but they're not enjoying it much like the same as I am.
Because they don't know.
Exactly. And it's fine, like having those kind of differences, but I think that's why it's harder to have those connections. But again, in your guys' circumstance, you guys are such a small piece of the culture there, so it can definitely be a shock. Did you feel that shock at all? I know you felt that going to college, but did you feel that at all when you came to Texas with regards to like the Colombian not being here? Okay.
Yeah, like honestly, I never really grew up with Colombians, except for like outside of my family, because like I guess where I grew up, Mexicans had like I grew up with a bunch of Mexicans, or just that's basically what they were, all Mexicans, right?
Sure.
And they all know each other's culture so well, and like they were all from like different cities and everything like that, but they all predominantly did the same thing, right? So for me, it's not that it wasn't hard making friends, but like I noticed that I would have to. I grew up understanding the vernacular and the way the people I grew up with spoke, and I would be copious of that, and I would talk like them. And I realized that about myself, and I guess my Colombian identity, like I guess I didn't hide it away, but I was just like the name. It was just Colo Colombia. That's what I was, but I didn't show I really wasn't truly not pushing, but just not embracing my culture to the people around me.
Mm-hmm. And I think that, so I know you as Colombia, right? That's why you came into my younger brother's soccer team, and we all knew you as Colombia. I don't know where that nickname started, but that's something that
that's what Mexicans just labeled you as.
It was
because, like you were saying, Colombians are like, at least maybe not now, but in a lot of places they're few and far between, right? Like compared to Mexicans, right? Obviously, Mexico's
here in Texas for sure.
Yeah, here in Texas, it's very predominantly Mexican, right?
Yeah.
And we Mexicans have the habit of giving people nicknames, and it's usually just very like
any Asian Chino.
Yeah, or even if you're Mexican and look like have like eyes a little bit slant, they'll just pick any feature.
Orejon or something like that.
Yeah, whatever, right? So you were nicknamed Colombia, right? So how did you kind of feel? Was it cool? Like, how did you?
Did you embrace that? Yeah.
I don't think I embrace it. I think my actions embrace myself. When I say that, I mean like when someone say Colombia, they just know what's up. They just know. When I say they just like where I'm from.
So you felt like pride and like
there was no pride. Like when someone I guess someone said my name, there was already something behind that.
Yeah, for sure.
So like. It's not that I embrace it. It already had something encapsulated.
But like, how did it make you feel? Did you ever feel like, yo, like I'm more than just a Colombian, or were you like, yeah, I'm proud of Colombia? Like, I think it's fine.
I think I realized that like, for me, the whole Colombia stance, that was what I was to other people. But like, the closest people call me by my real name.
Okay.
Gotcha.
So like it's just like it's like a worldly. I guess it's just like an outside thing. But if you really like, if we're really close, or if we're like a parent or something, a loved one, they call me by my real name. So if I guess I'm more connected to my own real name than like my own.
So, Christian, so with that, do you have a lot of close family members? Do you have a lot of Colombian family here? Like, what does your Colombian circle kind of look like here?
Mainly my family, like my mom, my dad, and my brother.
Okay.
But I also have family in like Houston. But like, it's more. You ever have family that is family, but like, kinda.
Yeah.
like you guys know each other, you're there, like, but like for the important things, they won't call you up.
For sure, like the family that you almost like choose.
Not like they're part of your blood family, but like you didn't grow up with them. You're not like, you know.
I got you. Yeah,
they're a family in another place that you didn't grow up with, so it's kind of hard to have like a very, like, you can have relationships, but it's not. You don't connect in everything because you grew up in different economic stratospheres. You grew up different times. You grew up different ages. So like for me, like I've never understood, like I've never felt the concept or understood when I say understand, I never understood the concept of having a big family. I don't know what that feels like.
Got you.
Like, or having a grandma or anything like, I don't know what that feels like either.
So it's literally just your mom, your dad, and your brother.
Yeah. So if you were to ask me Colombian influences, that would only came when I started playing club soccer, when I met other Colombians.
Gotcha.
But like, if you ask me, like my influences growing up were all different shades. Like you could say like I'm like black. Like I grew up a lot of black, Hispanics. That's mainly what I grew up with. So that was my like culture.
Sure. And so as a Colombian man now, I think you mentioned earlier, now you kind of have been wanting to have more of a hold with that Colombian kind of culture and heritage. Have you been able to find that outside of your immediate family? Like you mentioned, you met in club soccer, you met other Colombians. Like, would you say you have a good number of Colombian friends now here in Dallas, or is it very hard still to find that?
Like, they're not even my friends, just people I know.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's like it's not. I don't have like a Colombian friend that I can be like, hey, oh yeah, papi, vamos a hacer eso rapidito. You know, I don't have no one like that. There's people I know that like growing up, like, yo, we played soccer there, we talk, yeah, chop it up, boom, 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 we talk a little bit, but that's it. Or some girl you try to take out, but it don't work out. So it's like,
those are stories I want to hear.
Hey, I feel you, man. It'd be like that sometimes.
You know what I'm saying? You're like,
So then, how do you go about, I guess, finding ways to embrace like your Colombian culture outside of your family?
a lot of literature. I read a lot about where I'm from.
Oh, okay.
Like I like the history upon it. I also didn't know this. It's crazy. Like my great grandfather is white. That's whack. I mean, not whack. You know why? I thought I was from a pure lineage. I was like, damn it.
Hey man, you know, colonizers are gonna get everybody at some point, even if it's a little bit.
That's an elitist joke. But
Oh man.
but yeah, he is white though. That's crazy. I didn't know that.
I mean, yeah, like we probably all have a little bit of it, right?
Yeah.
Unless you're pure lineage.
We all trace back to some colonizer at some point.
Yeah, I mean, like I'm definitely.
Who you think you got?
Pretty
Miguel
fair-skinned.
Cortez? Who you got? Hernan Cortez? You know Hernan Cortez?
Yeah, it's Hernan Cortez, right?
Yeah, who
He's
you
the
got?
one that killed Moctezuma.
Yeah.
You know your
Vaca?
history?
Is that you?
Yeah,
Vaca?
I know
Cabeza de
that.
vaca?
Yeah.
Casa Vaca?
Yeah, who was in Colombia? I don't know who was in Colombia.
Shoot, he was tripping.
Magellan? What's that guy? Magellan? No? Okay.
Isn't Magellan like jelly?
This has turned into a history podcast.
I thought Magellan was the soles that go into your shoes.
Okay.
The little.
What's he talking about?
Or is it an element on the periodic table?
No, it is definitely not that
that's
one.
All of you are definitely wrong.
That's
Okay.
magnesium.
And we're not a history podcast,
So then you read.
Yeah, a lot of reading. Music. I think music is, and I think
Okay.
I don't know why.
Shout out
But
to Chuck Whiptown.
I think soccer too, because like I think since I guess keeping up with people where your country's from, like, and you get to know their background and where they come from. You know what I'm saying? Like you read up on their backgrounds. For example, like if you're in a player that you like, you enjoy it from like the national team, right? Everybody loves their national team if you enjoy the sport of soccer, right? So you look at the players on your national team and you're like, oh, I wonder where they're from. And they're from so many different places. You read about those places and you learn more about them and about their culture and like the way they talk, the way, because everybody makes their food differently, the way their folklore is, the way they're even slang. Slang is different everywhere you go.
For sure.
So like you learn. So I think that's what helped me a lot. Just reading about where other people are from the country I'm from, has helped me understand my culture better.
Got you.
Yeah, I think we want to speak on that eventually, but you like representation
For sure.
of Latinos, in your case, a Colombian, is very important to how we see our own culture as we grow up, right? As we
Yeah, if you see yourself in like, you know, these, I guess, either role models, icons, like whoever it is, like these public figures, it's important to have representation.
Yeah, and like the national team is obviously a good spot because that's like the cream of the crop, right, for your countries in whatever sport you're talking about with soccer there specifically. So
facts.
Yeah, that's big facts.
Do you so music is a big one. Do you dance?
Dude.
You said you don't like people that don't walk with rhythm. So obviously,
Listen, bro. Like,
are you a rhythm elitist?
I'm like a rhythm dictator.
Okay.
Like
Expound.
Borat, you know what I'm saying? No, I'm playing. Nah, how do I explain? Not everybody's born with rhythm.
For sure.
Some people can't sing. Some people can't clap. You know, I've seen it.
Okay.
Like their clapping is way off. Like stay on beat, bro. You know what I'm saying?
They don't have hands.
But
That's not cool.
But I think. Listen, Rudy, Kevin, do y'all dance?
A little bit.
I get
Y'all
down
don't dance.
I get down a little bit.
chop
No,
a little
yeah. So like
what is dancing to y'all? Like,
oh man, like I think that's the big difference, right? Is like we dance duranguenses, norteñas.
I think that's awesome. I love those dances. I've learned how to do those dances.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But so what do you dance? What's the
Well, growing up, you learn a lot of salsa, a lot of merengue, a lot of vallenato, a lot of like cumbia, and a lot of the folklore dances that are in respective countries. But like salsa is the main one. Like my dad's from Cali, like
that's the salsa capital of the world, right?
The world.
So you get down?
I can get down.
Oh, nice. So like, where do you go to like get down? Like that's like how do you?
That's crazy because you can go like, you know, the clubs everybody goes to, right? But like there's no really specific Colombian club. But I could hook you up with a place. It's called Las Palomas. It's in Addison.
Okay.
And what they have is like
I think I've heard of that place.
They have a dinner, like a diner, and on the side they have like a dance floor. That's where I had like my graduation party at. You didn't come, but like that's where I had my graduation party at, and I invited him, but he didn't come. But
Dang, Chris, rude.
That's where like, bro, it's crazy because people from Venezuela go there, like Chile, like
Todo Sudamérica.
Puerto Rico, Dominican, and like it's a Colombian place. And they just like, you know, de Colombia. You're like, you know what I'm saying?
So do you think that raises an interesting point? Do you think that you connect a lot with Latinos that, because obviously in Texas there's a lot of Mexicans.
Yeah.
So then do you think that the community of other Latinos kind of interact a little bit more, right? Because if you're like Colombia, like, you know, if someone's like Venezuelan, like they're a little bit more like, what's up?
You know what's crazy about that? Like if I meet someone from South America, I like it's just the click is there.
Yeah.
Cause like that's our, I guess it's not our region, but it's like a region we connect with. Like I've met people from like Argentina, and like it's becoming an instant like friendship because of like where our region that we're from and that what we understand from our region. Because like it's not that it's all the same, but like I guess like how the world is like made, right? Since everybody has like Europe, Africa, like North America, like South America, and like a country like Colombia and Argentina are part of it. So you're like, oh, you're part of the same region of people I'm from. We speak the same language, not the same cultures, but we have the same, you know, we're approximate.
Right. No, I mean, like being close to, like, you know, I'm sure it's very much more similar to each other than, for instance, Mexico that's a little bit further away, I'd imagine.
What country surrounds Colombia? Countries?
So so imagine a square, a paper.
Pull up the map.
Okay, I'm gonna just test my knowledge here.
Okay, I got you. Go ahead, describe it. There's a square.
It's not a square, but okay, to the right is Venezuela, like northeast.
Okay, correct.
Ding.
1 point.
Ecuador should be like to the upper left, I think, or like left of it, or below it to bottom left.
It is to the left.
Okay,
It's a
yes,
little bit,
it is.
And then
left.
under that is Peru.
Okay, 3 points.
And then above it is Panama.
My map does not show that.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's Panama. It's grayed out.
But
This man knows his geography.
it's not landlocked, but it has a great connection to the sea right there. Yeah.
Yeah.
So and like right now politically, like Venezuela and Colombia, like they don't like mess with each other right now. You gotta know that.
There's beef now, man.
I've seen, because Venezuela is kind of a hot like just political place right now. There's a lot
past few years actually.
Yeah, it's with who is Maduro and
well, I think there's one that died like before him. I think I forgot his name, but yeah, like it's like a crazy, like the people there are not eating. It's like crazy communist country.
Yeah, politically, there was a socialist regime.
Yeah,
that has.
My bad.
Over the last,
I don't want to confuse it.
I don't know it too well, right? I know a little bit about it. I've had some conversations with some Venezuelans. Yeah. I definitely want to one day talk about that a little bit. But what about Colombia? What does that look like right now? Do you know? Do you keep track with politics in Colombia and everything?
My dad mainly more than I do.
Okay.
My dad actually doesn't like Venezuelans.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and it's because that like. Prior to Venezuelans immigrating to Colombia, Colombians needed help years ago, but the government turned them down. And so, the whole take a cheek by the cheek.
No, I don't know what that is.
Is that a Colombian saying?
No, like it's in the Bible, right?
Turn the other cheek?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Take a cheek by the cheek.
I'm sorry, that sounded dirty.
Turn the other cheek. Okay.
My bad, bro.
Okay.
You're good, man.
But yeah, so like a lot of people in Colombia do not like Venezuelans, which is like it's like but they're coming in, but they don't like that it's happening.
Is that why
they're going into Colombia? Is the Venezuelans are going into Colombia? Okay, and then
that's why they don't.
Yeah, but they don't have any food. They don't have any shelter. Like their country's like terrible right now. So.
I think so. You were saying like a while back, Colombia was like in that situation, and Colombians were trying to. Emigrate into Venezuela, and they were met with a lot of resistance.
Yeah,
and so that's kind of where the animosity came from.
Yeah, it's kind of
You're returning the favor.
Yeah, it's kind of topsy turvy.
Yeah. That's kind of toxic, man.
Yeah,
but it's okay.
He doesn't speak for everybody.
He doesn't speak for everyone in Colombia. That's interesting. So mans can get down, dance.
Yeah, I think you told me about this a while back. There's actually like what do you call it, festival or something Colombians have here, and that's, can you share a little bit? Like, what's it about?
Once these COVID situations arise, I'm gonna take y'all there, bro.
I bet I'm with it.
So it's like this. It's like
I'm looking for a Colombian wife, by the way.
Hey, bro, listen, bro.
You change every week.
That's not what.
Are you saying?
Go ahead. You're saying
she'll treat you well, look you in the eye, and love you. Dude.
I'm knowing. I'm already knowing this.
You know what I'm saying? So basically, bro, it's in this like. It's a movie. That's what it is. It's a movie. Like everywhere you go, it's just Colombia. You breathe Colombia. You smell like it's just a movie. Like you go there and like they got horses.
They got horses.
Like if you want to ride a horse, go to July 20th. To like it's I don't know where it's at. It's in like in a barren land, but like you go there. There's always like 8 guys on the microphone. Oh yeah, like ¿Quién dice? Like, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? They're like MCs, and then there's lots of music, like food from like every region.
You said July 20th?
Yeah.
Is this a celebration of something specifically?
That's like Colombian Independence Day.
Oh, okay.
Oh, and that's when you have the parade?
Gotcha.
Yeah, because like Colombia used to be La Gran Colombia, and it was Ecuador, Colombia, Venezuela.
I had no idea.
Oh, I did not know this at all.
You didn't know this?
Nope.
No.
Yeah, and like that's why Simón Bolívar, like that's why like he's God, basically, like because he like freed Colombia. So like that's why, and like that's why I don't know if you've seen Narcos, but you've seen Narcos, right? So
sure.
You remember like that scene in where it was Pablo and like the little guerrilla group, the little not communist guerrilla group stole the sword.
Yeah.
Like that sword is like very symbolic to that country. Because Simón Bolívar is like the highest rated figure in Colombian history.
Gotcha.
We were Ecuador, Colombia, and Venezuela. So that's why the flags are very similar.
I'm learning so much today.
Yeah, you're connecting the dots.
Yeah,
I know shit.
That makes sense. So when you said he freed Colombia, specifically from, was it from
that union or was it? Yeah,
it's okay. So like on Colombia was like because of Spain.
Yeah. Okay.
So like they called it that reason, right? And so like that's why. Okay, Colombia. Is the white, that's why the whole white and black thing comes into play too. The whites in Colombia, the aristocrats owned it. Like how people saw like George Bush, but like George Washington and how all they did that same thing in Colombia in the 1700s. It was the same thing. 1800s, right? So it was like a battle between like conservatives and liberals and all that stuff, right? And they wanted to free the country. So that's why in Colombia, like after Brazil, we have the highest black population as well. So it's the same thing about the freeing of the slaves and stuff like that. So like black culture in Colombia is also like looked down about in Colombia, because there's very regions of Colombia, like the poor regions are the blacker ones, but still like it's not like there are still white ones that are very poor, but like the black ones are very, very bad. So it's been a conflict for like forever.
Is where your parents, because they're from different regions of Colombia, which one does one of them have more of
where I was born, it's known to be the less educated. It's known to be like very poor. Everybody's black. Like that's where like you become a gang member, like initiated when you're like 12, 13. Where I'm from, a Tumaqueño is made fun of because they feel like they have this inserted ignorance about them from where they're from. It's like they are like if there was a case system, there would be one of the bottom portions there.
Among other Colombians, you were saying, right?
Yeah,
like, because like if you're from there, you're dumb, you're this, you're that.
Yeah. You're looked at that way because of the history it comes with. So, but there also have been very great people that have come out of that region. So like, with the good comes the bad, you know?
For sure.
And your dad is from Cali. Is that different?
It's mixed in, but like again, like obviously, like the more
it's a little bit more diverse.
It's more diverse. You have your like brown people are called indios.
Yeah.
Or indios or
I feel like with the same thing happens in Mexico.
Yeah.
Like the people that look more indigenous.
Yeah, stuff like that. Yeah, you got your white, brown, black. Yeah, but where my dad's from, it's more populous. It's more city.
Gotcha. Do you see a lot more, I guess, white passing Colombians in the city?
Can I tell you something? Even like here, like the Colombians I met, it's rare that I meet a black Colombian. Like just that I know personally. Like all the Colombians I know are white. So I've never like I don't have like a black like oh yeah Bobby, like I don't have none of that. But like in the city, yes, you see both though. You see both. You see a lot of both. In the city, it's more like black people are still there, white people still there. It's like a mixture of both. It's like in any big city.
Gotcha. Have you looked into like that lineage of like where the I guess Afro-Latino population kind of came from? Like
I've tried, but what I've figured out is that in Colombia they also had like white slave owners, like how you guys told me. Like I told you, like I found out like someone in my family is white, which is like a shocker. It's like, damn, bro, I'm not pure. You know what I'm saying? I wanted to be pure. You know,
I'm dead. You're finna get canceled.
You're a fool.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. And I learned and I read that like that happened. That there's like people like own like slaves, and I'm like, damn, that's crazy.
Yeah. Do you know where they came from?
I don't know.
I think you. Well, I mean, when we were talking about food, when we were eating the food together earlier, and we were talking about plantains and stuff, and how you like came to realize that a lot of Africans eat plantains. So it's interesting to see like the
I wonder if there's a correlation.
I'm sure there is. Like,
I'm probably in there somewhere, bro. Like if you give me a what's that called? A DNA test. Is that how you find your like?
Have you done? Yeah, have you ever done an Ancestry or a 23andMe, whatever?
That shit mad expensive. I ain't gonna pay $120 to know who I am.
I'm a college student,
Fuck
sir.
you, me.
It's interesting because I feel like a lot of people that have, I guess not an ambiguous background, but like a very diverse background, like really need to do those kinds of things so like we can really understand kind of what, because I want to do one as well.
Let's do one together.
I hesitate.
Let's all do one together. I think I know what you work at.
I'm not trying to get the government my DNA.
Yeah, that's my biggest hesitation. Is like
wait, what?
Like paying someone to take my DNA. You know what I'm saying?
How about?
I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but I don't know.
Okay, well if we get a homie I know, get us a DNA test.
Excuse me?
Oh, hold on. Would you got a DNA homie?
Like he does science, but for the good.
Okay. Well, hey, maybe we'll come back and do a second part of this after we do our DNA test.
All right,
yeah, we'll come back and share our results, man.
Yeah, man. But bro, Christian, thank you so much, man, for sitting down with us and talking to us today. I learned a lot. I didn't know about La Gran Colombia at all.
I learned a lot about. I had no idea. That was very informative. Thank you. Is there any like last
final
This is
words.
fun if you don't, but if you got any last words you want to kind of say, any message you want to give to the people.
No, thank you for having me. I appreciate both of y'all having me.
That's what I was trying to look for. I'm just kidding. I'm playing. I'm playing.
First time meeting you, you a cool dude, bro.
Appreciate you, man.
Thank you for Fabi for letting us do this at her dwelling.
Yeah, shout out to the people that make the show happen.
Shout out to the people in the back making the show happen. I forgot your name. I'm sorry, but
You're good, man.
thank you, Kevin. I've known you for a minute. You got a little taller. And I just thank you. I had a good time with you guys.
All right, man. Happy to hear that, man.
Appreciate it, man. Hey, y'all take care. Have a good rest of your day. Thank you guys so much for listening.